following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, leaving the rat race and heading for the country. Gonna buy a Chevy pickup with a bench for my honey. Drive on down to Nashville, listen to my radio. Come on, baby, gonna head out to the dance hall, make a little noise. Gonna crank up the band, make some music with the boys. Double J is gonna be singing for his baby tonight. Look out in your house. We're in your house tonight. We're coming at you in your house. We're gonna polish up our boots and raise the roof all night in your house. Oh, baby, in your house tonight. Here we come in your house.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is back and it's back beautiful and better than ever. It is the week in review and it's the SnowMan. It's good to be back on the Flex Network talking about some wrestling. As we are getting close, we are 24 hours away from NXT taking over in your house. And damn, it's been a good long 25 years since In Your House was debuted. Man, it's been a long, long time. But I don't know why I have the, I just feel like, a little cruise right now. Just bear with me while I'm enjoying this moment on the seas from this WrestleMania. It was good. It was good. But let's get back to real. Let's poof. We're in the ring now because we're going to be talking what's going on, what's been going on in this week in the Pro Wrestling Week in Review show here on the Flex Network. It's your boy, the SnowMan, and you know how we do this every time we start the show, and that is we are live. Boom. We are live in living color here on the Flex Network. Let's get down to the business at hand. Let's talk what has been going on in the world of wrestling. And you know what? We're going to start out with some news. Hit on down to the news report about what's going on in the back that no one knows about, that you guys should be knowing about. Big news coming out of the state of Florida. Wrestling fans in Florida may be coming back soon to gather to enjoy their wrestling together again at the arenas, like the Performance Center or at AEW at Jacksonville, where they're shooting Dynamite, where they're normally having their base of operations right now. Florida is going into their phase 2 plan of their 3-phase reopen to get the state back open, to get the capacity or to get the work back open and everything. And this is good for wrestling fans because this will allow, for the time being in this phase 2, it will allow 50% of the capacity at the shows for the fans to come back and embrace and enjoy wrestling again as a community. And I think and of course, with some distance. So it's good that Florida is starting their reopening phase. And now with WWE at the Performance Center, they can bring some fans back in to the fold. AEW down at Jacksonville, they can bring some fans into their show. And of course, with some distancing, they can have that crowd action back. Besides having the wrestlers from the backstage just be, around ringside. This just sounds like a great thing for these guys. And I hope we get to see them soon. The fans come back, and granted, it'll be at half capacity for the moment until they get to their full reopen. But it will be good to actually see fans around the ring, like actual wrestling fans. other than the superstars around the ring. I mean, granted, it's all good with wrestlers around the ring and cheering and everything, but to get that different interaction with the wrestling fans and the just the crowd in general. Um, Other big notes: WWE has been in contact with wrestling talent that was cut last month uh, to try to get them back, but at a less money from their previous contract to try to get people back. They want obviously they want to get some of their wrestlers back, but with what has been going on, it's like, oh yeah, and Anthony's, AJ's been known when I say it's like crowd reaction has surely been missed. Yeah, it has. It has been very well missed. I mean, granted, with the fans, with the wrestlers at ringside, and what it currently is right now, just having them cheer and boo and everything. I mean, it's a good start. But now that Florida can allow more fans, the regular fans to come in, and WWE and AEW can get some money, more money in their pocket to start, getting some money flowing again outside of WWE shop or t-shirt sales and all that stuff. They can get fans back in. But back to wrestling talent coming back. Yeah, WWE's trying to get some of their talent back that were cut last month and try to get them for less money. You can thank Impact Wrestling for starting that wheel in motion because of their hype up for next month's actually no, for Impact's Slammiversary coming up, and they're trying to, they had a promo with a recent cut wrestler is coming back to Impact. Don't know who it is. I mean, there was a plethyon of talent from Impact that could go back that was in the package, like EY, EC3, Luke Gallows, Maria, and Mike Bennett. Just a bunch of different people that could go back to Impact. I mean, that's was being hyped, but we won't find out until Slammiversary for that reveal of who is back under the Impact banner. Other news: AEW Friday Fest normally was a pay-per-view this past year, but with everything going, they decided to turn that into a 2-night event next month. So it's been promoted that it will be for 2 straight weeks. Friday Fest for AEW will be on Dynamite for wrestling on Wednesday nights next month. It'll be July 1st and July 8th for 2 straight weeks. Will be Friday Fest. And then other big, kind of a not really a big news, but more of just a shock factor. AEW president Tony Kala or Callan, I want to say that, has banned former wife of WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, Linda, has been banned. Linda Hogan, technically she's still going. I don't know if she's still going by the name, but she has been permanently banned from AEW from her May 30th tweet that she posted while let's just say the protests were going on. And yeah, we're not going to repeat it. It's current race. It's just not good. We're not going to repeat it on here. We're not going to show you, but you can go out and find it. But she has been banned from AEW along with her former husband, Hulk Hogan, from his 2015 racism rant. So essentially, Hulk Hogan and his former ex-wife, Linda Hogan, have been banned from AEW. They will never be working or even a part of or even viewing AEW from anyway except TV. So that was just something, unexpectedly popping up on the news waves for wrestling, just out of the blue. A couple more things. WWE Network now has a free version. They've now have a pay. What normally was a you get your first month free. They have 86 that idea of the first month free, and then afterwards going into the $9.99 payment for every month. But they have now switched over to you. They've have a free version. It's totally free. About 1,500 hours of select content. The keyword select. There will be select pay per views, recent Raw, SmackDown, NXT content, stuff from YouTube, and The Bump, their internet show right there. So a lot of you won't be getting the whole library like you would be getting if you were paying the $9.99 monthly fee. And realistically, I understand, if you're going to get the free version, test it out, or you can't pay shit, or if you're going to get, test it out and say, oh, you know what, I want to rewatch stuff. But for what everyone's been doing with using we're going to sign up for a new account, we're going to get the first free month, and we're going to get the Royal Rumble, we're going to get the next pay-per-view for free of charge, and then we're going to cancel it and then sign up for a new account on a different email, and just go through this circle of endless loops of just trying to get free. Well, now you're going to get that. You're going to get a free version, but it hasn't been known that you're going to get the live pay-per-view. You're going to get the VAT. Actually, yeah, we don't know if you're going to get the full pay-per-view like you did with the first free month, and then you have to pay. It just seems stupid that you should just buy get $9.99 level. You should just get the full month. It's $10 a month for everything in WWE, WCW, ECW, the old WC, not WCW as we know it, like a lot of people know it with Diamond Dallas Page and Hogan and all that. I'm talking about like the Jim Crockett WCW, the old school with Ric Flair, Dragon, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, Killer Kroll. Actually, I'm not even gonna finish that because I'm probably sure he wasn't in that one. But essentially, the old school, the original WCW with the Jim Crockett Promotions. Heck, the LOD, Legion of Doom, was in it. Nikita Koloff was in it. So yeah, you got a lot of content on the WWE Network. You should go and get the full $9.99 version. It is worth it, and it's literally $10 a month. $10, 12 months. That's $120 for literally all the pay-per-views coming up, all the Raws, all the SmackDowns, all the NXT pay-per-views, everything. Just go out and get that. It's cheap compared to if you were going to watch it on your on TV or through your cable or satellite, you're paying $60, 50, $60 a month for the pay-per-views. That's going to add up quick. So just get the network, just so you can get cheap, great entertainment year round. So that's my rant on the network. But for the free version, it's good for if you're just testing it or if you're just trying to avoid paying the $10 a month, which is stupid. Two more things before we talk about what's the week in review. Jinder is going to be out again. Yeah, so Jinder Mahal is going to be out again. He just got out of knee surgery yesterday. So he's going to be on the shelf again. We just saw him come back from after a year on the shelf with a previous knee injury. But now he's gone back under the knife to clean up some things, and he's going to be out. We don't know how long. So I guess knees can hinder gender for that to happen to that man. Hope he recovers, has a good recovery, and wish him all good on his road recovery. And the last big piece of news, AEW is not going to have another pay-per-view until September 5th with their all-out pay-per-view. So yeah, September 5th is going to be their next pay-per-view, and AJ's chiming in with that, all for $9.99. Yeah, gotta have that cheap plug in there for everyone that doesn't remember when WWE Network was introduced. They were just plugging away with that $9.99 plug. Yeah, so again, AEW is not going to have a regular pay-per-view until September, so that's 2 months, or sorry, 2 months from now will be their next pay-per-view. And that is the news report. Let's get rid of that. That was news for you guys. Let's talk what is actually has happened on TV, on the shows this past week. Let's talk a little bit about that Monday night Raw. Yeah. Let's change up the background a little bit. Let's get into that Raw feel. As again, a whole lot, we had a lot of stuff coming up. We had some good matches on Raw this past week. Aleister Black getting some revenge for Ray and himself from getting attacked with Seth, beating up on Seth Rollins. Of course, Seth, having this false retirement party for one Rey Mysterio. Didn't go off all that well. Thanks to Aleister Black hindering the celebration and beating him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. But then Aleister getting his butt whooped afterwards, curb stomped, along with Mr. Humberto Carlito getting some of that same humble pie from Seth Rollins and the Monday Night Messiah crew. Apollo Crews KO in a tag match, taking on Andrade and Angel Garza. That, unfortunately, that group right there has just been getting the short end of the stick for the longest time. Andrade, an Angel kick out one of their members, Austin Theory. He switches sides over to Monday Night Messiah. Andrade loses the U.S. title the next week, and it's just been going downhill. I don't know what I think that group's starting to lose its, seriously lose its momentum, and it's just, what's new for you guys? I mean, you guys had a chance for the tag titles at WrestleMania. You have been, had a steady grip on the U.S. title. You've lost the U.S. title. You've lost a member. I mean, you literally kicked out a member of your own crew. And now look at you. You're just losing and losing and losing. You're losing your iron grip on the mid area, the mid card level. And you're losing to the new U.S. champ and KO after Apollo was going to give KO a U.S. title shot. But thanks to Angel and Andrade, that didn't happen this past week. So I don't know. They're probably going to have to regroup and come up with a new game plan if they want to get their grasp back on the U.S. title, and maybe move up a little bit. But again, just gotta figure out their game plan for a while. Billy Kay defeated Nikki Cross. We're thinking that was going to be leading to a women's tag team title shot probably next week, but we'll talk about what happened on SmackDown as we had the big shocker of the week. Nia Jax. Okay, I said this last week. that this was coming up. That there was a report that Kairi Sane got a little bit injured, and we saw it. We saw it this past week that it was. I want to say it wasn't really Naya's. Like she intentionally did this, but it was just more Kari just got the bad step. And you could see what happened. You saw what happened on Raw. If you didn't go back and watch it, you could, and then go and look at the aftermath pictures. You can find them of Kari just clipping her head on the steps. Got big old gash on the side, and it was as bad as it looked. You saw her just, her feet just got caught. Her foot just got caught, and she just takes a little bit of a stumble and right out, hits the edge of the side of the steel steps. You could see the move, and it was like, damn, that bad. I mean, come on, Nia. I mean, I know you're a big, strong girl, and Kari's a little one, but you didn't have to throw her that hard, and especially catching her foot on the mat and just chink. But of course, Nia picks up the victory from this. And no offense, but Nia's just been looking like, for the longest time, a dangerous person. I mean, not serious danger, but she's just been an injury making machine for a while. Kairi Sane this past week. If you remember Becky Lynch before Survivor Series last year, she, clocks Becky right in the nose, busts her up, and granted, we got that great image of Becky and bleeding and showing she's the man, but costing us a potential early version of the WrestleMania Triple Threat match at Survivor Series between Ronda and Becky 1-on-1. It turned into Charlotte versus Ronda 1-on-1, which ultimately led us down the pathway to the WrestleMania Triple Threat women's match 2 years ago. Gotta change that. So Survivor Series 2 years ago. So again, a lot of things that went in motion, but it just seems like Nia, being the big strong, she's got a lot of power, and she just kind of needs to tone it down, because she's causing some injuries here, people. She's already hurt Kairi Sane. Obviously this past week she's hurt Becky Lynch, and I believe she's injured another person. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but she just needs to tone it down a little bit. That's my thing with that. New 24/7 champion in the building. R-Truth went to Gronk's house, snuck up on him, rolled him up, and pinned him 1, 2, 3, and we got a new 24/7 champion. The dream is dead of seeing the 24/7 title on the line on the gridiron. Ladies and gentlemen, that dream right now is currently dead, as Gronk is now more focused, is going to be more focused now on the gridiron and being Tampa Bay with his buddy Tom Brady, swinging the sword down there at Buccaneer land and riding that ship just without the 24/7 title around his waist. Charlotte defeated Asuka via countout, and then Drew McIntyre defeated MVP on the road to Backlash. Coming up next, coming up this next week, next Sunday, not this coming Sunday, not tomorrow, but the following Sunday, June 14th, it will be Backlash. We will talk about the matchups on next week's show to get you guys ready for the Backlash. Let's head on down to NXT for a quick stint. I'm going to switch up here. It's like, I got to get the black and gold brand on here. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit with what is going to be happening this tomorrow night. As we're getting ready for the In Your House pay-per-view, me and Yim and Ken Slay one-on-one match to kick it off, and that match unfortunately ended out in a double countout thanks to interference from Tegan, from Shots, Dakota Kai, Gonzalez, just a whole bunch of just, or from Raquel Gonzalez, just attacking and starting stuff up and interfering in this match. And then, after the count out at the top of the ramp, we get both Johnny Gargano and Keith Lee coming out, backing up their women, and unequivocally just gets this thing changed to a restart with mixed tag rules to start off the night. And Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae defeated Keith Lee and Mia Yim on their road to take over this Sunday. Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated Tony Nese one-on-one. It was an okay match. I mean, actually, I'll give it. It was a good match. Actually, before I go any further, the Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae match, or the mixed tag match to start off, it was good. It was a good match to kick off the night for these guys. I think it was a really good match. And it's getting everything building towards their individual matches at Takeover in Your House for the North American title. And what was going to be a one-on-one match is now a 6-woman tag. But again, we'll talk about that later. Let's see. Triple threat number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles. Birch and Lorcan taking on the Undisputed Era in Fish and Roddy taking on the returning Breezango in a winning effort for Breezango, becoming number 1 contenders for the tag team titles against Imperium. Thanks to them defeating the self-destructive tag team of not even a week, and that tag team is already. But Matt Riddle and his replacement, thanks to Pete Dunne being back home with whatever's with this virus thing going on and can't come in to defend his tag team title. Cameron Grimes beating up on Borson Reed. Gimme match for Cameron Grimes. Finals of the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament. El Hijo del Fantasma defeating Drake Maverick in a hell of a good match. Drake, we thought we were going to see Drake pull this out. Granted, if we didn't get the distraction from the 2 mysteries, Lucha Libre, stealers, who's been going around the past several weeks in the parking lot just stealing Lucha Libre wrestlers. We swore we would have thought Drake Maverick was going to be the interim Cruiserweight champion, but unfortunately didn't happen. Drake got out, attacked those 2 masked men. They ran off, comes back in, gets destroyed, powerbomb, and 1, 2, 3, Drake Maverick becomes not the champion that we wanted. Man, I literally thought this was going to be Drake Maverick's time to be the Cruiserweight champion. And granted, we knew that the story, we kind of knew with the releases and everything that Drake was on the chopping block. He was chopped, and he was, put in the NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament, and he loses. He comes up short. If you saw what happened on YouTube or, on network exclusive, you saw that afterwards, after Drake, was like, thank you, and being teary-eyed and everything, we see Triple H just come out, raise his hand up and gives him an NXT contract to sign and Drake Maverick signs it, Hunter signs it, and we now have Drake Maverick officially on the NXT roster. He has his job back, which is a beautiful thing because that match, the finals and the cruiserweight title tournament was awesome. It was so well done. And granted, Phantasma is going to be, I believe he's going to be a great interim champion until the Irish Ace, Devlin, comes back, gets back into it, and reclaims the title that he was unfortunately holding on to, that he's still the real champion, but because of this travel restrictions, that's why Pete Dunne's not here. That's why they couldn't have Matt Riddle tag team with Pete Dunne. They had to get Timothy Thatcher out there, and that spun everything awkwardly, and that ended that run. And that's why Matt Riddle is now going to SmackDown. So again, until we get travel restrictions lifted, until we get back to some form of normalcy, is going to be very crazy with the interim, I say interim cruiserweight champion Phantasma, although I believe he's going to have a good run. Let's head on. Actually, before we get to SmackDown, we're going to talk a little bit about Dynamite this past week. Off the heels of lose my notes here. Again, off the heels of another week of great wrestling, especially from the Stadium Stampede and everything that went down. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defending their AEW Tag Team Championships against Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. And it was a good match. It was a very good match. Omega and Hangman working coherently together. This is why they are part of the Elite, and this is why they are the Tag Team Champions. They work so well together. They defended them successfully. Brian Cage taking on Shawn Dean. Cage picking up the victory. And then Moxley comes down, gets in Cage's face, and tells him to get ready for their match at Fyre Fest. That will happen, I want to say on night one, or it'll be either night 1 or night 2 of Fyre Fest, the 2-week event at the beginning of July. Jericho defeated Colt Cabana. Nyla Rose defeated Big Swole. And then in a TNT Championship match, Cody defeats Jungle Boy to retain. And that was Dynamite for the week. Again, AJ, best chemistry for a tag team in a long time. That's the truth. They've worked well since defeating Santana and Ortiz for the tag team titles. Actually, no, was it Santana and Ortiz? Gotta go back in my notes from like weeks and weeks ago. Nope. Not from that week. Not from that week. It's like trying to go back and AW. Nope, not that week. Oh, no, sorry. It was SCU that they defeated. SCU were the inaugural tag team champions, and it was Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. So they've been holding on to it since January. Yeah, since January. First, like near the end of the year. So 6-month reign. That's not bad. Literally. 6 months. Or sorry, 5 months. Yes, about 5-month reign as tag team champions. That is impressive, especially being the second tag team champions of AEW's history. Good long run. And it's going to probably continue for a little bit longer. I give it that. Okay. Let's head on over to the SmackDown side, to the blue brand. And boom, I'm on Friday Night SmackDown. And I'm ready for a good time. SmackDown this past week was a real good shocker to end the week and to get ready for NXT TakeOver. Otis defeated King Corbin one-on-one. Thanks to Otis kind of having a little bit of an advantage, pissing Corbin off, stealing his crown before the match on his way to the ring. It was an okay match. I'll give it that. Granted, Corbin's kind of on this downward spiral. I would say, literally cannot get, anything good happening to him for the longest time. Lacey Evans picks up a victory over Sonya Deville thanks to a distraction from Mandy Rose on the Titantron, distracting Sonya Deville long enough to get turned around and hit with the woman's right from Lacey and picks up the victory. I gotta say, everything going on with Sonya and Mandy is very compelling. I love watching this, former friends going at each other and just looking at where Sonya Deville was, essentially beating Mandy, for several weeks in a row on the road from WrestleMania onward, just beating her. And then looking at where she is now compared to where Mandy is. Mandy right now is with the Money in the Bank winner, while Sonya has just been dabbling in good and, in that realm. But Mandy's been up here while Sonya's just been down here a little bit. Hopefully this is going to lead to another altercation, but this time Mandy picks up the victory and Sonya just is crushed. I think that's going to be something to come along down the road. It's going to be very fun to see. And of course, during the entire night, we were seeing these pranks, essentially just bad intentions of Miz and Morrison trying to make the current undisputed Universal Champion Braun trying to make his life a living hell. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but playing pranks on a guy who can literally steamroll over you just by running, it's not exactly trying to make his life a living hell. I mean, first exploding his protein shake. Okay, that's a ha ha ha. It's a good little prank. Yeah, good. Getting interviewed by Kayla Braxton, and unfortunately for Miss Kayla, just getting D-Generation X green paint on over her. And of course, if that was funny on its own, I mean, sorry, Kayla, for the fact that you got greened with envy. But Miz, saying, why? You put it in the wrong spot. You were supposed to put it to the left. I did put it to the left. No, you put it to the left is left, right is left. Whatever. We still got him. It's a good. We still got him green. That's not a prank, guys. That's more, that's a bad prank, just for the plain fact you didn't get Braun, the intended target. You got him with backsplash. That's all it was. And that's not making his life a living hell. And Corey, yeah, you get what I'm saying, Corey. Just not a prank. If you want to make his life a living hell, you make it seem like he's, make it like the worst day, like tires flat, when he's trying to leave, or gear is ripped. stuff that would make it seem like, what the hell is going on? He stuck, his hand gets stuck to the door or something, or he gets stuck to something to the degree that it just makes it seem like it's very bad things that are happening to him. But an exploding protein shake, getting paint backsplashed onto you, that's not a bad day. That's just, okay, someone's messing with me. Ha ha ha. Very funny. Now I get Miz and Morrison making his life a living hell by taking golf clubs to his car. Taking a golf club to his windshield, taking a bat to his car windshield, and just denting it. That is how you do something to make someone's life a living hell. Or better yet, go back in history and watch other ways of making someone's life a living hell. Take plays from Stone Cold's playbook on Mr. McMahon. Fill his car with cement. That's one. That will really piss him off. But to take his car, to do what they did to Braun Strowman's car, I mean, it's a nice car. I'll give it that. It's a nice car. For him to come out and freak out, now that you've messed with him you've gone too far, and now you pissed him off. You angered this Bohemian beast. And to have the security guards around him, just, where's Miz Morrison? Where's Miz Morrison? Like, there, right there. To see the look on Miz and Morrison's face as they're watching everything from this white van outside the building, to see, we should have gotten rid of them. We should have paid them. They're freaking out. And to see the monster among men just go apeshit and like what you said it, and they just flip that vehicle. It's like, ha. You can see on the face when he just pulls up, he's like, you guys are dead, man. And just flipped over that truck, that van. And of course, again, the Stone Cold Vince or the Rock, that use some of that playbook between what happened with these guys. I mean, heck, Stone Cold and the Rock, you had the Rock throwing Braun over a bridge, or you had Rock throwing Austin over a bridge, and then just have a premature burial, and then just so many crazy things, or spray Braun Strowman with beer. Or something that would make, spraying with paint, just, but that degree, but for at least a playbook for trying to make his life a living hell. But that whole thing was just funnier than heck, especially since Miz and Morrison got their comeuppance at the end of the night, and they got tilted on their side in that van. One more other thing, or two more things before we, or actually a couple more things. Drew Gulak taking on AJ Styles. While AJ's, they were getting themselves hyped up and ready for the Intercontinental Final for next week, or I want to say it's next week or coming up. It's at Backlash, I want to say. But Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles in the ring, saying how AJ was the smarter because he took his bye, got to go to the finals, while Daniel Bryan took an extra, a match, which he didn't really have to, but he wanted to anyway to get better. And I could see both arguments. If you're given a bye in the tournament, a chance at a bye, compared to having to face someone else in someone else's place, I could see taking a bye. Because then you can rest up. You're going to be at your 100% best. Then on the other side of the coin, do you want to be that person that wins the championship by knowing that they had one less matchup to get there? Or do you want to be that person that fought everyone in the tournament, beat everyone, and you're the rightful champion? So I could see on both sides. But AJ Styles calls out Gulak. Gulak beats AJ Styles in shocking fashion for Mr. Styles, as he wasn't expecting it, especially, knowing that he didn't have to fight anyone to on the road to the Intercontinental Tournament. So this is going to be a very interesting turn of events for AJ and Daniel Bryan heading into Backlash, or if it's next week for the title. I will double check that probably for next week. But quick thing, New Day and Shorty G beating up on Cesaro, Shinsuke, and Mojo in a 6-man tag. But the shock of the night, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I wear this in honor, Twisted Bliss coffee, but I wear it in honor because they're no longer women's tag team champions. No. After the lovely reign that these girls had of winning back their their women's tag team titles, they lose it in shocking fashion in a really good match to the tag team of Sasha Banks and Bayley, the inaugural women's tag team champions. And you kind of know what? I didn't really expect this with everything being pointed towards Sasha versus Bayley for the women's championship. Hope, somewhat at SummerSlam. This kind of throws the kink in that a little bit, or maybe it just throws it a curveball, because while everyone was making fun of the fact that, oh well, Bayley's a champion and Sasha, you're just her groupie. That's all it is you're her groupie. She throws you to the wolves every week, and yet you still stay by her side and everything. But what's funny about this whole thing, if go back and watch the match, you see that Bayley tosses Banks out while Banks is in the bank statement on Nikki at the end of the match. You see a panicked look on Bayley's face. It's like, no, you get out. And you look at Sasha like, what the heck did you just do to me? But Bayley, of course, we all see Bayley would, recognize that Banks was not the legal woman, and that she and Nikki were the legal, that Bayley was the legal person, because she tagged Sasha when she was getting set up for that suplex off the ropes. And the referee was making his count. And of course, if, didn't let go, they would have been DQ'd and lost the titles, or the opportunity for the titles. But Sasha, the way that she got thrown out of the ring is just like, seriously? What are you doing? But it all paid off because Bayley and Banks pull off the victory, regain their women's tag team champions, and now Bayley is the first woman to be a double champion. Holding, and let me be very clear, because I know someone's going to say, well, no, Becky Lynch was the first double champion. Let me time out. I'm saying she is the first woman. She is the first woman to hold the single and the tag title at the same time. So she's a double champion, technically. Or, while Becky was the first woman to hold both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, Bayley is the first to hold the SmackDown Women's title and the Women's Tag Team title. She's the first one to do it at the same time. So I'm just clarifying in case someone's going to throw that out there. Well, Becky was the first one to be a double champion. She held the Raw and the SmackDown or she held the Raw and SmackDown champions. I know that. I'm a Becky fan, but I know that. But yeah, so that was SmackDown in a nutshell to end the week before we head into NXT TakeOver in your house. And let's talk. Let's just have a chat about what is going to be happening this tomorrow night on the WWE Network for the first time in 25 years. Takeover in your house. And you know what? Let's get a little. Let's feel a little bit of this.
Noise, gonna crank up the band, make some music with the boys. Double J is gonna be singing. In your house tonight. Here we come in your house.
A little bit background music just to feel that.
I'm up in the saddle, hang on the ground.
But yeah, in your house takeover. I know that technically this is not the actual theme for this year. The theme for this year is from the band Code Orange. They is a hell of a good theme for this year's In Your House theme, but this is the original. One of the originals for the In Your House brand. Just gotta feel for a little bit. But of course, let's talk NXT TakeOver in your house to end the show. Of course, one of the big ones that was highly anticipated, Ciampa versus Cross 1-on-1. That one's one of the first ones that was made for the pay-per-view. Finn Balor taking on Damian Priest 1-on-1. We're gonna have a triple threat women's NXT title match. Charlotte Flair defends against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai in a triple threat match. Rhea hoping to regain the title since WrestleMania, and Io Shirai cashing in her number one contenders. I can't say cash in. She already did that. Getting another opportunity since losing her opportunity from the number one contenders ladder match opportunity she had won, but lost. So to clear everything up on that triple threat, everything with Charlotte interfering in that match for number one contender between Rhea and Io, just make it a triple threat match in your house. One-on-one North American Championship match. Keith Lee will defend against Johnny Gargano for the North American title. And then a 6-woman tag team match. Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox will take on Candice, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. 6-woman tag. And then the main event, the show-stopping match of the night. The one that ends it all. For the NXT Championship of the World in a last chance backlot brawl. Adam Cole, baby, will defend against the Velveteen Dream. And the stipulation is, or the two stipulations that Mr. Adam Cole agreed to, that one of them he made and Mr. William Regal made, that if the Dream loses this match, he can no longer challenge for the NXT Championship while Adam Cole is the champion. And the one that Mr. Regal added is that this match will be in the back lot. There will be a ring in the middle of the back lot with cars surrounding it. And this is going to be very, very exciting to see. This will be the first takeover since Portland in the month of February. It has been a good been a good 3 months since we had our last takeover. Granted, Takeover Tampa was broken up on NXT TV for, matches because we already knew what was going to happen. These matches were going to happen on NXT pay-per-view, but they just broke it down to put it on TV and just have the NXT TakeOver Tampa logo with it in the early stages of this pandemic. So, but this will be the first pay-per-view not on TV for NXT TakeOver since the month of February. So this should be fun and exciting as we close out the show tonight and just get ready for this epic 25-year reunion of the lovely brand that we know and love as In Your House. This was a pay-per-view brand that had given us a lot of great moments and matches from just In Your House, a pay-per-view name with Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, Big Diesel, Undertaker, through the various different names of In Your House. In Your House, the Canadian Stampede, International Incident, the Great White North, In Your House Unforgiven. And when you talk about In Your House Unforgiven, you talk about the main match that was the talker of that. The Infernal match between Undertaker and Kane, the first one. That was a moment. Over the Edge In Your House. And I'm not talking about 99, I'm talking about 98. Because Over the Edge became its own. It didn't have the In Your House tag when the Owen tragedy in 99. But this in 98 was In Your House Over the Edge. Or Over the Edge In Your House. Austin versus Dude Love with McMahon as the special guest referee. And the setup was a junkyard crash course, a junkyard with cars as the set, with the Briscoe brothers' phone number on one of the cars. It was so classic. It's like, yeah, classic battle. And then, of course, the Infernal match from my man AJ talking in here, coming in on Facebook. But other classic moments from In Your House. Shoot, off the top of my head, I'm like trying to go through all the ones I know. At least for the names. Do. Do. Oh yeah. In Your House, It's Time. Shoot. Sid versus Bret Hart for the WWE title. How can I forget about this one? In Your House, Buried Alive. The Undertaker Mankind Buried Alive match. How could I forget about that match? Of course. In Your House, Beware of Dog. That one was split up into two events, 2 days apart, thanks to some wacky weather down in South Carolina. They had to move it to North Carolina 2 days later to finish out or to restart the entire pay-per-view for those who weren't there at the arena, who didn't see it because of a power outage. So they couldn't show the rest of the show on pay-per-view, so they had to cut that up. But yeah, Beware of Dog, number 8. In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies. Shawn Michaels, Big Diesel, no holds barred for the WWF title at that time. That was a damn good match. In Your House, Ground Zero, the first one that was a pay-per-view name, followed by In Your House. So Ground Zero, In Your House. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, one-on-one, no contest. That it was so brutal. It was just a no contest because they both, were tossing around the referees like it was nothing. It was so good. These, In Your House had always provided awesome matches. In Your House, and of course, In Your House, Bad Blood, or Bad Blood In Your House. Taker, Michaels, Hell in a Cell, the first one, right there. That just screams awesome memories right there for the In Your House brand. But of course, we're gonna have another opportunity for memories within. Oh, and the last one that I cannot forget about, that I love. This was my favorite one. One of my favorite ones. In Your House St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Austin McMahon steel cage for the WWE Championship. Opportunity for Stone Cold at WrestleMania. If Austin wins, he's going to WrestleMania for the title. McMahon wins, Austin's out of the title picture for WrestleMania 15. Those were awesome memories for In Your House. And again, we're going to have some more made up coming up tomorrow night on the WWE network for the NXT brand. So go and get acclimated with In Your House before tomorrow. Literally, just go and watch some of these classic moments. Go on the network, go on YouTube and watch this. But you know what? That is going to be it for me today here on the Flex Network. Man, was that fun to see, fun to do, to talk a little bit about what's happening in the past week here on the wrestling side of the world. But of course, we got to do a little house cleaning stuff for you. So of course, tomorrow, besides what's happening with TakeOver tomorrow, here on the Flex Network, we're going to have a show for you guys on the football side of the world. Yes, football's gearing up. Hold on one sec. Sorry, guys, I didn't want to blow out your eardrums with that sneeze, but yes, tomorrow we will have a show for you guys early in the morning, 8:05. Talking some football with you guys. Come and join Alan Seslowski and Flex Shane as they talk some football with you guys. And of course, remember to follow that portion of the world of football with the Flex Network at Flex Network 1 on Twitter. But yeah, they're going to be talking some football for you guys. Get you guys in the mood for fantasy football, who you guys need to be looking out for, and everything. So go and check that out tomorrow morning at 8:05 in the morning. Should be a good show for you guys. And then tomorrow, of course, NXT TakeOver In Your House. Go and check that out. And then I will be back next week here on the Flex Network for another rendition of the Pro Wrestling Weekend Review show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us, retweet us, share us with everybody you know. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter. If you're not already on Twitter, follow us, the Flex Network Wrestling side at FlexNet_PW Elite. Go and follow us. But for now, that is going to be it for me as we end the show tonight. Thank you for joining us here on the Flex Network. I am the SnowMan, and we will see you next week. Peace. Go enjoy In Your House.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. This right here is the Flex Network. Yeah. Flex on the G. Flex.
preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.